Hello, my name is Jamar Roberts, and I'm a dancer with the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Started dancing when I was 10 years old. I think maybe I was in the 5th grade. There was a girl that lived right next door to me. She was going to the same elementary school as I did. She did an after-school dance program. They needed guys to lift girls. She said, come. I said, okay. And then ever since 5th grade, up until high school, I always made sure that I went to a performing arts school. Elementary school, middle school, high school. Finally graduated from New World School of the Arts in Miami. From there, right after graduation, actually maybe weeks after graduation, I got accepted into the Ailey School for a week. Then I went on to dance with the Ailey 2. A year after that, I auditioned for Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and I've been here for 7 years ever since. Took a little hiatus, danced with Complexions for a little bit, went to school, but this is where I am. I first started to get into choreography, I'd say, when I was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. Being in a repertory company, you do a lot of works from different choreographers, and I think as you continue to do that, you always try and put your feelers out for what feels good to your body or what complements your dancing. And I guess it just kind of got to a point where I just felt like nothing really worked for me, and I was always in this box constantly. So that forced me to go ahead and try and make up my own things. And there's a dance studio that I trained at in Miami, Florida called the Dance Empire of Miami. Every time I would get a break, I would always go back and teach little kids and choreograph pieces for their competitions. And through that, I think I gained a lot of experience and a lot of patience, especially working with children. And so I do that on my breaks, and then when I come back to work, I'd stand in the back of the room and do my own thing, or grab a dancer and say, hey, do you want to learn this phrase for me? And then basically I just started doing a lot of experimenting. And in dance, you always get connections with different people. So I got connected with a guy who actually owns a dance competition circuit. And he recommended that or suggested that I submit my work into the Capicio ACE Awards. And so I said, okay, I sent it in. Maybe days later, they told me that I was one of the 10 finalists for the competition. And so I'm happy. I think this is one of the bigger opportunities that I've had to actually show my work. And it's not even that big, but it's big. It's not in the back of the studio, so. So now that I am one of the top 10 finalists for the Capicio ACE Awards, that requires that I either perform the same piece that I submitted or create a new work. And I've actually decided to create a new work based on the actual piece that I submitted, in terms of vocabulary and the overall theme of the piece. I'm going to be doing that for the entire month of July. I will be in Paris working at that time, so it will be maybe twice as much work that I'd have to do, some for the company and some on my own time. My favorite things about dancing for Alvin Ailey is that I get to travel all over the world, of course. I mean, this company, I think they travel and perform more than anything, more than we actually learn rep. I think we spend more time on stage than off stage, which is good. Yeah, places that I've never would have imagined being when I first started dancing when I was 10 years old. So in that way, I can't even say it's a dream come true, because it wasn't even it was just something that I just never thought of doing. I also like working with Judith Jamison whenever she's in. I think she has a lot of insight to give on a lot of the rep, especially that rep that was choreographed back in the 60s and the 70s and stuff like that. I think it's filled with stuff that we can't, as dancers in this day and age, can't really, connect to because we weren't there during that time, because maybe Alvin Ailey choreographed about things that were actually going on during that time that we can't relate to because we have iPods. But anyway, because of technology. I also like most of the people that I work with. I think I've made a lot of great friends here. One of the challenges is that I love New York and I'm never here. I actually just got my own apartment, my first own apartment, and I have to leave it in a week, which sucks because you just want to chill out for a bit. And sometimes the workload gets a little heavy. I mean, I think the last tour we did was about 18 weeks with 1 week off in the middle. So I mean, by like the last week, you really question, why you're doing what you're doing. And in that space, things get a little funky, but all you need is 2 weeks off and you're good after that. The kind of work that inspires me the most, I think, are works that are very realistic and human and pedestrian. I like the works of Pina Bausch. I love her drama. Martha Graham, Ohad at Batsheva. And yeah, a lot of those works that are, even some works that Alvin Ailey created, they're really character-based and theatrical. So there's a lot of, I guess, like, realness. I got to work with William Forsythe for a little bit. I think I'd like to kind of work with him and see where he's at now. I think that would be interesting. Because I feel like there's a lot going on that I have like no idea what's going on stage. It's like you watch and you know by looking, but you don't really know. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of in-depth dancing going on. There's Hofesh Schechter in the UK. I think he's awesome. It's pretty much like street dance. I used to take a lot of hip hop when I was younger. So a lot of his work reminds me of hip hop and it just looks like a lot of fun. Outside of dance, I like to draw a lot. My dad and his mother and his brother and his sisters, they were all artists, so I've inherited that talent. So I'm always going to galleries and museums and looking at art books and drawing things and Photoshop, Illustrator, doing stuff like that. I think it's something that I'd like to pursue once dance is over. But I love drawing. I like coffee. If you can ever get me coffee anywhere at any time of the day, I'll drink it. Something that I've learned in my career of dance that took me a while to learn and that I think I'd like to pass down on to kids, especially now with, So You Think You Can Dance being on TV, is that not everything is a show. I think, yeah, we dance for people and we perform for people, but I think there's also a part of it that we need to keep for ourselves, aside from, that egotistical side that says, I'm a dancer, this is what I do, I come to take class like this. I think even in class, there's something that you can enjoy, internally and be happy about that, as opposed to being in class going, my leg, see it, you know what I mean? I think that was something that was really hard for me to learn. For me, I think I've learned a lot of small things, like how to pace myself if I'm doing a piece that's, 45 minutes long or something, or you know, what types of movement allow me to express myself more? Are they faster ones, you know, more dramatic movement, or are they, you know, more adagio type things? So when those types of things do present themselves within, let's say, a piece, I can go, okay, now I can relax and stop showing, and now I can like feel comfortable in this. I think I've learned like small things like that. I am like so bad at that. I don't do anything. I think I just veg. I think that's what I do. I don't really get massages. I barely go to therapy. I don't do anything. I'm really bad at that. I'm gonna crumble and fall to pieces in like the next year.